So this is a video on the new digital version of our all-in-one system, which is going to be obviously available on the SP Pro and Mini only. The Camo and the other boats that I build it into will still be an analog version. Each has its pros and cons. So we're going to put the remote on first and then the boat. Okay, so let's run through it. So the trim keys, if you push it, you'll notice on the digital version it feels like it's doing nothing. That's because it's not doing anything. It's just there for show. We're obviously using the same casing, and then those buttons have no effect anymore because it's controlled digitally in the menu, and I'll show you that later. We've got our forward and reverse and donuts and buckets and stuff, and hook releases still in the same place. You can swap them around if you wish to use the throttle on the right. Yeah, so we just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, zoom. Okay, so you can see better. Right, let's check the screen. Yeah, so that's your brightness. This actually looks better on camera. We'll leave it there. This is the up and down for your points of interest and your external devices. Okay to confirm. Mute your speaker, and you'll see the speaker will mute in the top corner here. Crosses through it. Power, menu, lights on and off. Pause function. The pause function is a dual function. It also has cruise control option there, so I'll show you that now. That's to save home, sonar on and off, come home, escape autopilot, your points of interest functions over here on the go button. Okay, so let's go into the menu. At the top we have our boat's voltage, and that's when it's going to complain about the battery at 9.9. That is the new setting for that. And 3.7 for the internal battery, which you charge via this port here, USB-C. Cool. Turning radius is set to 1 second. What this is used for, you can leave it where it is, but if you really wanted to, the greater you make this number, the bigger the return home radius would be. So let's say you're using floating braid and stuff like that, and you want it not to try and come straight back over the path. You try and increase that number greatly for it to take effect, and then I think it will only take effect once you restart everything, and then it'll keep that new value. Okay. Language English, obviously, and whatever language you speak. Fish sensitivity, or the fish finder sensitivity, out of 10. You know, the higher the number, the bigger the fish it's going to find, the lower the number, every living organism it's going to pick up. Direction trim. You really wouldn't have to go into this menu, but if you did, it literally is there just to calibrate the sticks. So you'll see there's values and zeros where it's basically compensated. So at the moment, you'll see those values all change. Just make sure your sticks are in the middle, and you say okay, and it calibrates center points. Okay. Location is your dams. So get yourself your little book. 30 locations, 30 dams, 30 swims, whatever you want to use it like. And then 30 points per location. So that's 900 points of interest. Okay, so you would get your little black book and say number 1 is reed fillet, whatever. Okay. Motor adjustment is now the trim of the boat. So if the boat's pulling left or it's pulling right, you would adjust this number accordingly to obtain a straight trajectory of the boat, and that is now the trim of the boat. The compass, the 2 compass functions, I'm touching on another video that you can go and watch. Okay. Code setting, if you need to repair the remote, or you're picking up noise or interference from other remotes, just do a fresh code setting. So what you would do is the boat is off. You go into code setting, it says turn the boat on, and it freshly connects. That's it, done. New pairing, factory reset, don't do it, man. But if you had to have done it, there is a few things you must just change back again for the boat to function properly. I'll show you now. So that is the factory reset, and that will reset all GPS points as well, I believe. Under other settings, I'll go there now quickly, but before I go there, you get point sharing and quit. Obviously quit the menu. Point sharing, if you want to share points with friends, you go into that menu on your remotes and you can send points to each other. So under other settings, that's where you're going to play the most. So your braking time is set to 1200 milliseconds. Leave it there. I don't see why you would need to change it. But that is the delay of braking, so that it's calibrated to stop on the point of interest. So the boat will hit reverse and stop in a certain time, okay, to get to your point of interest. So we're leaving it there. Your cruise control is off at the moment, and let me put it on quickly. So we're going to put it on. It's on now. Cruise display, fish finder. So if it's off, your fish finder will not function in autopilot. If you put it on, your fish finder will display and you can still see what's going on in the fish finder. So I'm leaving it off. Your mode 1 and 2 on the sticks. So at the moment, throttle's on the left. If you put it on, the throttle will be on the right and your buckets will be this side. Okay. Feet in the software. So that is, it'll display feet instead of meters on the fish finder. We find on meters, so we're leaving it there. Your delay stop, that is how much braking power the boat has. So it's predefined already. Obviously, the more aggressive you make it, the harder the braking or the stopping is of the boat. So it's set ideally at the moment to stop in good winds, etc. So I don't see why you would need to change that setting. So under here, if you had factory reset your remote, your motor 1 and motor 2 might not be configured correctly. You'll see at the moment, motor 1 should be on a plus, motor 2 should be on a negative. If you had your camera engaged or your camera active on the SP and the Mini, you put that on plus if you wanted to have the camera option there, and that is your autopilot speed out of 100. So at the moment we are leaving that on plus and minus for the motors. If you factory reset, your boat may have gone left and right or not gone straight because the motor polarity was wrong. Okay. We don't have a camera at the moment, so we're leaving that on minus. And that is my autopilot speed out of 100%. So at the moment it's going to run at 100% autopilot speed. So we'll leave it at that. You can change that if you want. And this MOD is the compass offset. So at the moment it's set to 0, which is fine. Okay. Cool. And that is the menu in its entirety. And then let's go into the functions. So can you see there? So we've got at the top here, it's a bit difficult to see on camera, but anyway, you've got your voltage of your remote battery, voltage of the boat's battery, and your signal strengths. This is going to be the temperature of the water and the depth of the fish finder. And we've got meters from our home point. So if I saved home again now, it goes to 0. So now home is reset. You can just resave over home the whole time. We're in dam 1.4, okay, and setup is done. And GPSs, we've got 15, so obviously the higher the number, the more accurate the boat would be in our GPS details. We've got our buckets left and right. We've got hook releases, so if I opened the bucket, the left door would open and show that it's open, and the right door would open, show that it's open. The hook releases would engage and engage. The sonar and the lights, if they were on or off, would have a line through it. So if I put the sonar off now, there's a line through it. So they're both off at the moment. This is the software we're running at the bottom here. Okay. So yeah, like power, menu, lights, pause. Pause now will not pause the boat. It's now cruise. The cruise function we saw earlier, I've turned it on. So you can hear the motors are running of the boat. So now I've enabled my cruise function, and now I can just steer the boat. I don't have to hold forward the whole time. Now it's off. If I hold this in for 4 seconds, it automatically engages cruise again. So now it's cruising again. Now I can just steer. Nice function, although it could be irritating for guys when they're trying to drive back to shore the last 10 meters where they had stopped at home. Then it may engage cruise towards you and come towards shore, and you might stress that you can't stop it in time. So some guys would turn the cruise off and only use it when they really want to. Okay, but like I say, if you want to engage it quickly, you just put it on there, or you hold the throttle for 4 seconds, and now the cruise is active, etc. Then obviously your fish finder will no longer pause. That is now the cruise function. That's to save home, sonar on and off, come home, escape autopilot. Our GPS points of interest, functions. So don't overthink it. It's exactly as it says. I want to save a point. I go save. I'm in location dam 1. I'm on point 4. Okay, I've saved it. Next one, next rod. If I push the up arrow, it says I can replace 0.5, which means there's data there already. I've now replaced 0.5 now. If I want to save, and I'm not sure if I go up now, let's see if there's points. Okay, what says replace all of them? So on this new version, it will just keep saying replace. So I've replaced 5. If I want to delete a point, I can either just save over it again, or if I want to delete, I just say delete. It says to delete 5. Okay, now I've deleted 5. All right. I want to go to a point. I go point, and I select 0.4, which is a meter away according to this, because we're obviously indoors at the moment. And I go, and it would go to that point, but it's too close at the moment, so it's not going to go anywhere. And that's it. So you're going to go point, delete, save, and that's if you're in the menu and you want to just get out of here, you push escape. Okay. The nice function on the digital now is it can also auto drop. So what I mean by that is normally if you say go to point, you can see there it says manual mode, which means if I say go to target, it's going to go, it's going to tell me it's arrived. I'm literally going to drop the doors myself, whatever doors I want to drop. I'm going to close my doors, and then I'm going to say come home, and the boat would come home. Okay, but if you want to have the boat do everything automatically for you, you push you on the number you want to be at. So let's say I want to go to 0.4, and if I push point again, it goes to auto, and then I say go. Then it's going to go and it's going to drop all the doors. You can't individually drop a certain door. It's going to drop all the bait doors, and it's going to close all the bait doors, and it's going to return home automatically. Just remember to turn that off on that particular point, because it's going to remember what you've asked it on that point, and it will keep doing it. So if you want to rather manually do your thing, then obviously have it in manual. If you want to auto, put it in auto. Alright, that's to escape that menu once again. Okay, and if autopilot is running, you just push escape and it will escape it. Alright. Yeah, I think that's it. And then obviously if you have external devices, I'm going to do a video on the camera when I get mine. But if you had an external spinner or auger or in the accessory port, this E is for the accessory port, and you can see there, if I push it, it says we're in external mode, which means we've tapped into that external port, and our doors no longer function because we're actually controlling whatever accessory we've got attached. So if the spinner was attached, it would be spinning right now, spinning, and then once we disengage that, we're back onto doors again and onto hook releases. Okay, so that's the external mode. Cool. Yeah, that's it. And obviously, like everything else on the boats, we're going to put the boat off first, and then the remote, and the remote on first, and the boat on. The reason for that is you've got fail safe. So if you turn this off first and this is sitting in your hands in here or something, or you stuck your pinky in here, you're going to have a motor driving your hand. Yeah, I'm sure some guys are just talented in that regard. Hey, we all have that one friend. Cool, man, enjoy, and then I'll do the video on the compass and the camera system.